Welcome to a fun, light, creative, power flow sequence with Maria. Unroll your mat and let's get started. You can find any comfortable seat or standing posture that makes sense. Now, you might be a type of person that likes to move a little bit as we breathe and I share a little bit before we start moving for real. So that's up to you. If you're standing like I am right now, ground your feet and maybe a little bit wider than hip width. Tuck the shoulders back, mountain pose, so your palms face forward. Close your eyes if you don't stare at something just in front of you. And soften your body, your inner gaze. You might know the phrase, catch your breath. And just think about that for a moment. Right now, we want to catch our breath. Diaphragm breathing all the way down. Inhale and exhale through your nose if you can. And if there's anything specific on your mind that you need to let go of or pray for or set an intention for the class, maybe now is the time to connect with the higher powers, God or love, whatever you call it. And keep breathing, standing or seated. I want to bring your attention to a story that most of us, I think, are somewhat familiar with. The story in the Old Testament about Moses. Probably some of us have seen the cartoon about Moses, a little bit old now, but still. So Moses was this Hebrew boy, which was born in a time where no Hebrew boys were allowed to live. So he was put in a kind of a basket that you could put into the Nile, the lake, the sea there. And his mother and father thought that they might be able to take care of him in there. But an Egypt princess finds Moses and brings him to the palace. So he is raised as an Egypt prince, or at least a Egypt royalty. As the story goes on, he recognized that there's something not quite right. And one day he sees two of his fellow Hebrew people fighting because they're slaves. Pharaoh is holding his people slaves. So he kills this guard or this person, this Egypt that is beating up the Hebrew guys. And to do this, he has to flee into the desert because he don't want to be killed by his father, so to say, the Pharaoh. In the desert, he finds a more comfortable life maybe. He settles down, he gets married, he gets kids as far as we know. He's a shepherd and everything seems to be working out. Now take a deep inhale, take your arms up over your head and then soften your elbows and just draw your hands down by your side. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale. And let's soften our legs as we reach our arms up overhead. And exhale, standing up tall. Inhaling, reach your arms up. Sit down, chair. Exhale. Mountain or version of it 2 more times. And then you take your left arm over your head, reach for your right side for a body stretch. And then lean slightly forward, kind of waving this left arm down to the side, reaching right arm up overhead. First going for a side stretch, and then leaning slightly forward to engage more of the back of the lower back there, and reach. And then maybe you make this a kind of a dance. Exhale as you lean forward. Inhale as you reach for a side stretch. And continue this, just a little bit more. Soften your legs. Find your version of this. Now, what I really want to bring your attention to is the fact that Moses was in the desert for 40 years, not 14, 40 years. And then one day, as he was doing his business, working, probably confident, probably, doing his business as he was used to, he sees this burning bush, and God, the Almighty, speaks to him. All right, stop your movement side to side, lean forward, maybe you wiggle, and then plant your palms at the front of the mat and step back, our first downward facing dog. And keep moving your legs. You might bend your legs, do something in between down dog and plank pose. And just getting back to the story for one last time here. So the burning bush, God speaks to Moses through that. And as I was thinking about that story, I was thinking it was quite a spectacular intervention God had going on there. Burning bush. And I wonder how many times God has tried to get Moses' attention, where Moses might just have looked the other way because, he was minding his own business. He was happy. Until one day this burning bush emerges, and that brings Moses' attention to God. Now move into plank. Hold your plank and soften your elbows. Maybe move a little bit from side to side. Still warming up. Take your knees down, lower halfway down. Keep the shoulders intact so they don't squeeze forward. And then lift up into a version of cobra or up dog. Find down dog again. 2 more times. Inhale to plank. If you stay on your toes or knees, up to you. Lower halfway down. Exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Let's do that one more time in a big wave to the front. Inhale. Strong core, lower down halfway. Exhale. Inhale, push through your hands, knuckles. Exhale. Down dog. Take your right leg up. You can bend your knee, draw some circles up there. And then draw that knee underneath your belly into a plank and kind of scooch it out to your left side. Keep a solid hip. Then back and up. And let's open up our hips. So we're going to do this motion a few times. So you might exhale to take your knee underneath, move it out to the side. Inhale, reach up. Open up your hip, exhale. Move to the side. 3 more times. And just find your version of this if it's too much. And one last time. Bring that right leg to the back and then to the top end of the mat, about where your right hand would be. And then lift up in high lunge. Finding your balance. Catching your breath. Reach and elongate the front leg. Take your hands down by your side. And in a big motion, leaning forward, take your hands forward, bending the front leg. And then reach your arms up overhead. Forward. Again, trying to extend the front leg, hands down like in a wave. Move forward like you want to catch a ball here. And reach your arms up overhead. And you can just breathe along with it as much as you want to. Now there's 3 moves in this, so I might not be able to, to move with an inhale and an exhale. That's fine. Last time. Lean forward, find the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Complete this sequence on the other side, so your left leg. And let's keep the leg elevated just for a bit before we start moving. So bending, drawing some circles. And notice you can draw your shoulder blades a little bit back towards the hip. All right, let's do it. Left knee bended in plank, out to your right side. Back and up. Now it might be easier to actually stretch this leg as you come up. That's completely up to you. But try to exhale as you do this kind of a twist. Inhale as you reach your leg up. Now on the exhale, we want to engage the core. So navel towards the spine. And I use my Ujjayi breath here. Three more times. Working our core. If you were in doubt. Last time up. And then left leg to the top end of the mat. High lunge. Yet again. And take a breath or two to calm your system. Tuck the tailbone down so you're not arching the back too much, the lumbar spine. All right, extend the front leg. Hands down by your side. As you bend the knee into the direction of the middle toe, lean forward, reach like you're catching a ball. And then with the front knee bended, reach your arms up. And let's continue with that kind of floating motion. You're welcome to do it faster or slower than I do. Really feeling into that front leg. Going deep. 3 more times. Maybe you're starting to feel your buttocks on your left thigh. Hands down and downward facing dog. Take your vinyasa, moving into plank. Staying strong, lower halfway down. Cobra or up dog, inhale. And maybe you find child's pose to stay in down dog, whatever works for you. Just one question. How loud does God need to speak to you in order to get your attention? Are we, you and I, so comfortable in our everyday life, in what we have, what we know, what we're controlling of, that we don't listen to God? Again, draw your hands to the front end of the mat. We're going to do a little bit of a hopefully fun sequence with this question staying in the back of our mind. Right leg lifted up towards the sky. 3-legged dog. Push the foot back. Keep that leg lifted as you move into plank. Gaze a little bit in front of you, staying strong in your core. And maybe then you're tapping this right leg on the back there of the left, moving into side plank, lifting up the hip, this shoulder you're standing on. Move a little bit back. Coming back into plank, right leg lifted. Three-legged dog with your right leg at the elevated there at the back. Then coming to plank again, lower down your right knee on the floor, lift up your left leg. Keep it strong, keep the core strong. Then take the toes out to the side, bend your knee, lift your left knee as high as you can. You want to land this left foot where the left hand is approximately. So make your way there and find runner's stretch, leaning back. Somewhat comfortable, I hope. And then take this front leg a little bit more to the center, coming into what I call a low warrior two. So you pivot the back shin around, front foot aligned with the long end of the mat, and find this version of a warrior two. Leaning back, so the back hand finds the floor, the foot, the knee and the hand is aligned, but I pivot my toe though to the back for a big, nice supported side stretch. Lifting up again, moving all the way around, finding warrior two. Back foot, back knee off, pivot the back foot around. Again, warrior two as we know it, traditional warrior two. Moving back, extend the front leg, peaceful warrior. Windmill the arms around, take the back heel off, prayer pose. Stay here or find your balance with the right leg back, so warrior three. Make your palms are quite firmly pushed together. So make sure that both legs are really stretched and engaged. All right, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. How about that? Do I have your attention? Left leg, lift it up again, push it back. Make sure your fingers, fingertips, knuckles are really firmly down. Coming into plank, tuck your shoulders into the girdle. Turn, cross the leg, left leg over right. Move into side plank on your right hand. Lift up. Coming back into plank, left leg still elevated, move it back into three-legged dog. Move into plank again, left knee on the floor in between the foot and the hand there. Lift right leg up and back, toes pointing in, navel in, so your spine is straight. Turn the back foot out to the side, bending the knee, lifting the knee high as you can, really feeling your glutes there, and see if you can get this right leg to the front of the mat without bumping it down. Run and stretch. Warrior two. So again, I like to have this front foot more centralized, turning the back knee around. Always go for extra padding if it's not nice for your knees to do this one. Lean forward so you feel something here in your thigh. Extend the front leg, lower down your left arm, reach up. Move the hip towards the ceiling and let this top hand reach all over like a huge banana. Move yourself back. Turning back. Back foot as well on the floor. Warrior two. So lift the back heel off. Hands out. Arms out. Knees stacked over ankle. And ground the feet. Peaceful warrior with the front leg lifted or extended. Not lifted though. Turn around, gaze at the front end of the mat. Take the back heel off and just, take your time to get yourself situated on the mat for our warrior 3. So palms together, shoulders back, left leg this time up and back. Gonna stay here for a few breaths. Hips closed. So you might take your hands behind you and just notice if your hips are somewhat aligned. One more breath. Hands down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Maybe a big sigh out. Sometimes to quiet the mind enough to get to listen to God, at least in my body, I need to move a little bit. Otherwise, the monkey brain is in full gear, in full motion. So moving, breathing like we do now helps me. So let's do this sequence just once more, maybe a little bit faster. Right leg up. And just breathe whenever it fits you. I'm not gonna, as such, connect the breath with the postures. Moving into plank. Core involved, also left leg standing. Crossing over, side plank. Push down through that hand. Lift the hip. Coming back, right leg still lifted, 3-legged dog. Push right foot back to the wall. Into plank again, lower down right knee on the floor. Gaze to the front as you lift left leg up. Bending the knee out to the side, toes as well. And then lift up that hip. Try to keep it stable, moving as slow. Now, as we get here, we might want to drop down, but try to get it there. And lean back for a little bit of a pause. Small warrior 2, back foot around, front leg there out, reach. Leaning back, extend the front leg. You keep the toes in that direction. Actually, I like to take the toes in the direction of my chest. I want to stay here just a little bit longer. It's such a nice posture. And then let go. Move yourself to the top end of the mat, warrior 2. So make that happen, whatever you need to do. Peaceful warrior with the front leg extended. Lean back. And as we move into warrior 3, you might want an extra challenge. Instead of having our hands here in prayer pose, you might want to have them at the back, just holding here at the back. Now we want to take the shoulders back as much as we can, okay? So back heel off. I'm gonna step a little bit back on my mat. See if I can find prayer posture here. Shoulders back, strong core. Lift up, left leg moves back. A bit more challenged here. Two more breaths. Let go. Hands down, step back, down dog. Sigh out if you need. Let's do the opposite side and then a bit of stretching. Left leg, 3-legged dog. Plank pose. Stay here for a breath, really engaging the arms. Cross it over. Side plank. Pivot back. Left leg elevated, 3-legged dog. Left knee on the mat, probably in the middle. Right leg up and back. Again, strong core. Knee bended, lift the knee up as high as you can. Toes point out to the side. Trying to find those muscles that are willing to work with you for a slow, gentle landing. Run and stretch. Mini warrior 2. Back leg pivot. And again, the distance in between knee and foot is up to you. The smaller the distance, the less you probably feel this. Engage the thigh. Leaning back. I turn the back foot and stretch the side body all the way. Make sure this top shoulder is tucked a little bit back. Oh, I just so love this posture. Coming back, pivot around, warrior 2. Back toes point to the side. Heel arch alignment or heel heel. Going low. Peaceful warrior, extend the front leg. And move yourself. Warrior 3 again. You can use either of the palm prayer postures, or you can go with a more traditional warrior 3 with your hands extended at the front. Like I'm hugging my tree here. 2 more strong breaths. And this time, coming to a stand, mountain pose on your mat. Close your eyes and do whatever you need to soften a little bit. So when God met Moses in this burning bush, the first response from Moses was one that we all know, even though it's 3,000-4,000 years ago. Why me? Why me? God, why am I supposed to do this? Why is that my responsibility? Why right now I don't have time? Why me? I don't have the competences. All of those whys God answers. You might read the story for yourself. All right, the scripture plays at the bottom of the text there. But maybe we need to let go of our whys a little bit. Instead, just listen. So widen the distance in between your feet, and you can let your toes point slightly inward. Tuck the pelvis in and go for a wide-legged forward fold. You're always welcome to go wider if you like. Either take a hold of your ankles, your feet, or just grab the floor. To me, this is a surrender posture. I'm holding my head down, bowing down. Lift up your head a little bit, and then you can wiggle your feet slightly towards each other, or maybe a little bit more depending on how far you were standing. But we want the toe to point out this time. Yoga squat. In whatever way, you can just put it be on the other side of the mat if that makes more sense to you as you watch the screen, right? But sit down and let the elbows push out the knees. Broaden through your chest, your clavicles there, sternum. And then lift up. Now, if you have just halfway, if you have any issues with your shoulders, with your back, you might not want to do this bird of paradise. Just with playful posture. But what you can do though is take your left hand and reach down underneath the left knee like this. Right hand behind, and maybe, just gonna turn around, maybe you can grab a hold. If not, just stay here for a little bit of a twist. Now if you can, take a hold. You have to bend your knees in order to do that. You lift up your head ever so slightly. Take the left heel off the mat and see if you can hold the balance in your right leg and lift up. So you're kind of hugging in your knee. And make it just a bit quivery if that's your thing. And if you want to be more adventurous, try to stretch the front leg there. And no need to hold it forever, I can't. Just play with it. You might even pause the screen just to make things happen here. Again, same procedure, the other side. Tuck down, reach underneath the kneecap, bending the knee so you don't put a lot of weight into the shoulders and the lower back. And see if you can extend. And let go if you need to. Forward fold. Soften the arms, wave from side to side. And then come down into child's pose. Get some distance in between the knees. Forehead on the mat. And you might want to take your palms to the front. The reason why God picks you, picks me, I don't know, and I'm not sure I need to know. I would like to know. But somehow God just sees me, sees you as the one to do exactly what He's called you to do. So instead of maybe using the why as an excuse not to step into the calling, maybe just try to step in. Get your toes wet. Get out in the uncomfortable, where you take a risk. And maybe pray for courage to do that instead of keep asking why. Coming into tabletop. And we'll do a bit of stretching now. It won't be that long. But I think it's called cow face. You begin with your right leg at the bottom, your left leg here at the top. Now, if you can sit like this, just do that. But if you can kind of wiggle without like forcing too much, your knees somewhat on top of each other, do that. No need to put the heels all the way down. You're just squeezing your knees, your meniscus a little bit. So just keep the feet out. And stay here and try to relax. If you want to stretch in the shoulders as well, if you're not too preoccupied with trying to relax, left hand back, right hand reaches behind, and either take hold of a shirt, or if you have a strap or a sock nearby, take in that top hand. Or if the fingers can reach, go with that. If you feel any pinchment or uncomfortableness in any of the shoulders, try to make it a little bit easier for yourself. breathe. Maybe your breath is becoming a prayer. Not my will, but the will of God, or love, if you will. The will of love. That makes so much sense. Let go. Maybe you shake your legs a little bit. We're going to do the opposite side as well. So if you sit it cross-legged, that's also an option. Just put the other leg at the front or at the top. Go with maybe what is not your normal. Get those sitting bones down. Relax your thighs. Always welcome to feel that input is sometimes really nice for the nerves and everything to feel, okay, can I soften where I feel that I'm touching? And if you want to go with a shoulder stretch as well, right hand here at the back, left this time. Make sure this left shoulder is not tucked forward. Bring it back into the girdle. Again, no need to force anything. And just one more question. This might be a little bit harsh or hard. At least it is in my life. How much am I willing to give up for this calling? How much in my life of my comfortable living am I willing to let go in order to serve love? Let go of your hands. Let's go of your legs. Last bit of a stretch. Wide-legged in a seated version, so toes pointing up. And if your toes tend to drop in, you can always take your hands and kind of help them on the way out. And maybe lean forward. If it's too hard to sit here, sit on a blanket or a towel. Elevate your hip a little bit. It makes it so much easier. As you lean forward, try to lean forward with your belly first, then your chest, and then your chin. Now Moses, he gave up almost everything. I mean, his wife and kids went with him to Egypt's land, but then they went on a very long journey. So he gave up everything he knew and what he thought was comfortable. But more importantly, he also faced his fears. Because he had to go back to Pharaoh, back to the place where he knew that he could be killed if anybody knew what had happened those years ago. Am I willing to face my fears? Come back back into a seat. Now, if you want to rest on the mat, you can definitely do that. Maybe just hit the thumb up button and then pause the screen. I just want to finish here seated with a prayer. So you can make your own resting time if you like. But if you want to pray with me, you just listen in, you're welcome. Maybe let your palms face up. So God of love, help me to hear your voice when you're speaking. Help me surrender my comfortable lifestyle, my need for control, maybe approval. Help me dare to step into what you're calling me to do, because I truly believe that that is worth living. That is what make give life meaning. God, help me face my fears and take the path of love like you did. So Jesus went the path of love as he died on the cross. He faced his fears. But he also won life again as he resurrected, if you believe the story. So God, help me. Step into the life and the living of love, no matter what. I need you. Maybe you'll put your palms together in prayer posture, bow your head. And this can be a physical honoration or showing honor to God. And then you can lift up your head. Thank you so much. Blessings on your path, and may you be willing to step into the path of love. I hope to see you again in one of these videos, and always like, subscribe, and all these things that just help me reach out with more of these videos. Thank you.